Welcome back to Circuit Showdown, where three of the brightest minds are competing to design electronic products based on the Arduino Portenta C33, hundreds of components and modules, and Keysight test equipment.
We've met our contestants, Charles, Michael, and Renee, as well as our judges and our chief mentor, and now we're ready to find out what they'll be designing today.
Today's theme is Smart Home. Raymond, can you tell them what they'll need to build?
Hey guys, today's theme is Smart Home. And as we know, smart homes integrate systems like lighting, HVAC, and security, and make our lives more comfortable, more convenient, and most importantly, safer. Today, we want you to create an innovative project that demonstrates the features of a modern smart home.
In order to make it to the next round, each project must meet 4 criteria.
Number 1, functionality. Does the project work as designed?
Number 2, adherence to theme. How well does the project meet the theme at hand?
Number 3, usage of available resources. Did the contestant use a broad range of products?
And number 4, originality. How creative was the project? You'll be starting with your Arduino Pro hardware, and the rest of your components are located in the Mouser pop-up warehouse, where you'll have access to over hundreds of components and modules, including parts from Arduino, Molex, Renaissance, and Vishay, as well as other items in the Mouser Innovation Lab.
And your time starts now.
So I was always interested in physics. About the kid who always asked his mom, "Hey, why is this doing? Why is the sky blue?" And so when she, came to the end of her answers, I had to, find my own. But I didn't just want to know the answers. I also wanted to understand, okay, what can I do with this? And that's what engineering did. It takes it from beyond just why and how things work to what can you do with it and make it useful.
I like to use engineering in my everyday life. A lot of the principles that we use and can be applicable to all situations. I mean, you use a lot of your critical thinking skills to kind of map out problems, figure out new solutions, research, and think outside the box. And that's one of the reasons I love engineering.
Definitely my job at Rice Bikes, which is Rice's student-run bike shop. I'm a manager there, and I really enjoyed just the problem-solving aspect and kind of getting to work on bikes, work with my hands, get out of the problem sets for a little bit, and it's been something that's really positive in my life and I really enjoy.
Here's a design tip from Arduino. Modern industrial environments contain many connected devices like the ones our contestants are building. Wi-Fi provides high throughput for data-intensive applications, and Bluetooth Low Energy allows you to create a robust mesh network over wide distances. A secure wireless connection gives you the benefits of connected equipment without the difficulty and expensive cabling.
Charles has the window.
Ooh, can we talk to Charles first? I want to find out what he's doing over here.
Okay, Charles, you got
All right,
the window.
you sold me.
You got the window. What are you planning?
Well, I'm gonna try to at least detect window positioning, like open, close, stuff like that, kind of basic starter, and then from there build off to more functionality as I have time.
Okay.
Is that for something like a security system, or
kind of like a basic one, just to notify like what's the state of it.
Okay.
It's actually pretty cool. I like they use the window.
I know, I love the window.
All right, well, okay, we're going to be back to see how you progress with this.
We're going to check in a few.
Okay, Renee, we see you got some stuff. What are you planning?
So I'm planning to have a primarily like CO2 sensor for indoors, so it can alert you that you should open a window if the CO2 concentration is getting too high.
Oh, okay. Okay, Michael, what are you planning?
So I'm actually going to try to make a smart crib. I'm thinking using some of the sensors that we already have available. I want to make like basically a baby crib that'll allow people to kind of monitor their children, but also kind of do some its tasks kind of re-automate. So I'm hoping to include a methane sensor to kind of obviously pick up baby smells. Probably a crib rocker as well, that I'll go ahead and rock the crib maybe as well, and then obviously add a camera and an audio recorder.
All right, we won't take up too much of your time. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Designing low-cost IoT devices requires considering trade-offs between power consumption, computing resources, and the price of components. The RA0E1 microcontrollers from Renesas strike an ideal balance between price and performance for general-purpose IoT applications. The Renesas flexible software package gives you a head start on programming your device with optimized software drivers and an open-source library of software assets.
All right, contestants, you have 2 hours remaining.
So Charles is planning on putting a sensor on the window, some sort of sensor, so he can detect remotely the status if it's opened or closed. Renee is planning to do CO2 detection, whereas if it detects CO2, it's possibly going to alert you to open up windows and
if the concentration is too high.
Like the concentration is too high, which is really cool. Michael has a pretty big project in front of him.
Yes, he planned out.
He's creating sort of like a smart crib, like a baby crib, right? Where it's going to detect my favorite thing. It's going to detect methane gas. So if your baby has gone to the bathroom, which is great, but it's also going to do things like it's going to alert you if there's the baby crying. It's going to have a video, like a video monitor, and it's also going to possibly be able to rock the baby in the crib.
From your smartphone, could you imagine?
Yeah, smart crib. Yeah, that's pretty. That's a
You're
pretty
telling me
big.
I could
That's
have
pretty
laid
big.
in my bed and rocked my
Yeah, but that's
baby.
a pretty big task for
It
4
is.
hours.
It is a big undertaking.
You know, there's
Yes.
a lot going on in there. You know,
Yeah,
I'd be just happy
that's
with
true.
the methane sensor. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, you got to know when the baby needs to reach the diaper change.
Right? Exactly. So we got some pretty cool projects. I think all of them have a pretty interesting theme.
You know, looking at what each of the contestants are creating, what do you think they need to think about as they're developing these projects? Maybe, some challenges you might see, or?
These solutions that they design should be as practical as possible, and they should be thinking about the end user ultimately. I mean, and the good news is everything that I've heard suggests that they are moving in that direction.
All right, Gates, you've been sitting here for a while, but it's time to go see what they're doing over there. So we're going to check on their progress. So we'll see. They've had enough time to make some headway. Let's see what they've got going on.
What was your kind of inspiration for coming up with this idea?
Well, my inspiration was the window seemed like a great framework in terms of building stuff around it. There's lots of options. I was going to possibly try to implement something with the blinds. I had intentions for the I think it's like the blind out, the LDCD or something like that. That takes 60 volts, which is a little more than I can probably handle. So just a lot of things I can easily add on to it, add more functionality.
Yeah, I like the idea because I'm thinking about my house, and we have a couple. Our garage tends to be it's outside the basement for a walkout, and every night I have to walk down the stairs, walk around, make sure the garage door's down because it's not that visual. So I think this might be something that a lot of people could end up using. And then it also looks like it's got, like you said, it's got applications beyond that.
So basically what I'm trying to build is a CO2 sensor that would alert you when you should open a window indoors because the CO2 concentration is too high. It's something I actually I've kind of implemented in my childhood home with my parents. We noticed that we were getting headaches indoors a lot. And then I was like, what could be causing this? And turns out we just never opened windows, and fresh air is important. So it's something that I think it's good for more people to be aware of.
So now, and what do you think the problem is with your sensor?
I have no clue. So the CO2 sensor, we just haven't been able to get it to print anything in the serial terminal, which is strange.
So one thing I would probably do is if you go back up and if you hit the library button and just type in the part number of the sensor, there might be a better library. These are kind of made by the community, so not all of them.
Okay.
For example, that one, Rob Tillert is a good.
Okay.
Also, Adafruit, it's usually very good quality.
Yeah,
so you could go, install all, you need that.
Okay, Massimo, I think our time up is here.
Okay, so I've been dying to ask, what inspired this idea? How did you come up with this concept?
I was thinking about it for a while because funny enough, while my family actually has a new puppy, and I was thinking, like, a lot of the time, you know, you want to monitor all the new additions to your family,
Right.
and I was thinking, well, what's something that a lot of people always struggle with? Well, having baby monitors and monitoring.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
One of the key things in any type of development is an ability to adapt, because again, nothing ever goes perfectly.
Right.
Let's figure it out. And I agree with you. I think at least on the outside, they all look like they're handling it very well. And I would hope that when they started to do this, they thought about contingencies. Maybe this doesn't work, and have that as a backup.
Transform your home with the VECNL 4200 long-range proximity sensor. It detects objects and people over 3 feet away, turning on cameras, thermostats, and displays. Use it for security and lighting control with its ambient light sensor, all connected via an I2C communication bus. Get your evaluation board today at Mouser and make your designs smarter.
You're down to the last 15 minutes.
Everybody seems to have found a new modified course.
Yes.
So that's good, and everybody is hopeful that they can get it done in time. But there's still a little bit of hesitation I'm seeing from everyone.
Right.
So let's see how that goes. All right, contestants, you have just 5 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop building.
And now it's time for our judges to come down and evaluate your projects.
All right, so what I have so far is what is going to be the basic components of the smart crib. Right now, I have it looping right now to get the actual actuator that I wanted to actually rock the cradle. This was, as I mentioned, was going to be the actual vibrator that was going to go underneath the bottom of the crib. And so far, I got it to start registering the smells I was looking for. I have it listed right now as my smelly smells. And so it's right now just kind of looping through, trying to understand that what is going on right now is that it's picking up those signals and then it's looping back and doing all the actuations that I was hoping for.
So are you happy with where you are?
Considering what I'm used to, yes. I like to think this is a lot farther than I think I was going to get. It was definitely a hurdle for me trying to get through a lot of the programming, so I'm happy that I was able to at least get somewhere to where things were moving and that they were reading. But I definitely feel like, yeah, with a lot of the effort that I put in, I feel pretty good so far trying to move forward with this and definitely cleaning it up.
So basically it rocks the cradle, it identifies the smells you wanted.
Yes.
In several different areas?
Yes.
Okay.
You come up with a name?
Well, so far, just a smart crib. That's what I got so far.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi.
So what I was able to come up with is a system of two Portenta boards, each taking air quality measurements, one that would go outside and one that would stay indoors by a window. And then the Portenta sends measurements to Arduino Cloud, so you can keep tabs on air quality and get a history over time. And then if the air quality indoors is worse than outdoors, you can use that data to determine that you should open a window. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the outdoor sensor talking to Arduino Cloud. It is taking measurements, it's just having trouble validating it. But you can see the indoor sensor is functioning, so if I breathe on it, you can see the air quality is getting worse, indicating that there's a higher CO2 level.
So why did you put that RGB LED matrix on top? Were you hoping for some?
Yeah, I was hoping to be able to indicate with red, yellow, and green lights what the air quality was indoors, so you wouldn't have to look at a computer screen. You could just see the visual indicator, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get that working in time.
What indicates to the homeowner that they'll need fresh air?
I have this this chat box down here that kind of indicates like fresh air or low pollution. And it goes all the way up to high pollution. I just wasn't able to get the air that bad quality. So they can kind of use that text output as an indication of the air quality if they don't know what the number means.
Great. So you're chatting with your sensor.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There. Hey.
Hello.
What you got?
So what I have is a window status update. So the main thing it does, if I open Ceiling Monitor, it will update about every 10 seconds, just as an example, show the status of the window. Right now it says it's closed. Everything should be nice and quiet while it's doing it. It also identifies what's going on outside through the light intensity. So it's bright, it sees that. If someone opens the window, it will update and have triple blinking light as well as the buzzer go off a few times, after about 10 seconds. You hear that? And it'll just pause right there until you open and close it again. With the sensor, you can see whether or not the light intensity outside is kind of brighter or dimmer, so you can get an idea if it's overcast, bright. Should you enjoy the time outside with the blinds open or closed and whatnot. And so that's the basic idea, just to keep status of your windows, know what's going on, and maybe enjoy outside a little bit.
Does it have the capability for some type of remote notification if you're not home, if the window opens?
It could,
something
if you
to that effect?
implement the Wi-Fi module. So just add the antenna, switch this to, instead of communicating with the Ceiling Monitor, just communicate over Wi-Fi. It should identify the user, at least the information. From there, they'd have to have something separate to send that command, such as reset, or initially I was going to attempt to also have controls for the blind opening and closing, but we didn't have time with the mode on that.
Interesting. Are you happy with what it does?
I'm happy it got it done. I'm just glad that my motor didn't kill both my doing it. I think it might have killed one. I have to test it out later. But that was a lot of time spent on the motor portion.
Oh, so you tried to use the motor, but at some point it
At
killed
some
them?
point, I think it might have done something to my Arduino. It was turning fine for a few turns, but at some point it stopped communicating anymore.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much for the explanation.
All right, contestants, that was wonderful. Each one of your projects were absolutely amazing. But now it's time for you to exit the Mouser Innovation Lab so the judges can discuss.
Who is going home today? So, based on the criteria, what are you guys thinking?
Each one of them had some good points and some bad points as to how they accomplished what they did. I don't think anyone completely did what they wanted to do.
Right.
There was some a little more ambitious than others, and I think that's what we have to decide is how does ambition come into that?
Right.
I thought the crib project was very original.
We agree.
Right?
I just have to say, it did detect 81 smells, which is sort of funny, right? That means I don't know what's going on in the studio, but hey.
And then it all had areas where there were still challenges.
Yeah, and I think each one of them overcame a significant number of challenges. You know, like they were able to address them, and it's a stressful situation to have to do this with that specific 4-hour time limit.
Right.
So we're going to figure out who we're sending home today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
The Molex MX150 connector system provides reliable, US car certified performance in a compact package. MX150 mid-voltage connectors meet all regulatory requirements for 20 to 60 volt systems and offer drop-in compatibility to upgrade your existing designs. For designs involving pressure or fluid differentials, MX150 pass-through connectors have a secure seal even while unmated, providing a redundant sealing system.
Have you come to a decision?
We have.
All right.
All right, contestants, first of all, excellent job. We, as judges, have judged your projects based on a number of criteria, including completeness, your adherence to the theme, usage of available resources, and originality. And for the most part, we felt that you guys each nailed many of those 4 criteria to varying degrees, and we'll go through a few of them. So first, Michael, your smart crib, I thought was an excellent an original idea. It was novel. I don't think there's anything out in the market like it. So I really like the innovative thinking behind it. Very practical and potentially relevant for parents. I thought you did a really good job in terms of originality. You adhered to the theme and the other criteria.
Charles, in looking at your window system, to be honest, you suffered a little bit from an originality standpoint. We found it to be a little similar to some systems out there. On the good side, we liked the way it operated. I think you did a good job of trying to incorporate some other features. Your attempt to add a motor to simulate rolling up shades, those types of things, I think really fit, again, the theme of trying to come up with original ways to use the products, and also something that a consumer would really enjoy. I think your project needs to be expanded a little more to come to be a fully complete project. But again, in terms of adhering to the theme as a smart home, something that people could use, we really like that part of your project. Thank you.
So Renee, I really liked your project. Also, I like the fact that you started off the description by talking about something that happened to you. So it's always good when you're kind of scratching your own itch, as they say. And I also appreciated the fact that you introduced the cloud into the project so somebody could. And also I think one other positive thing was that in the course of the project, you evolved the concept. So you started off with one sensor, now you had two sensors. Maybe you could have been a little bit more daring on the originality. So you went for like a very safe thing, which is good. But sometimes, it's good to kind of try out. And then if it doesn't work, you kind of fall back into the more sort of basic concept. But, very good job.
All of you did an amazing job, and it has been a tough decision. We've decided not to send anyone home.
Oh boy.
We are going to bring you back for one more chance at Circuit Showdown Champion.
You all did amazing work today, and we're very impressed with what you can do, and look forward to tomorrow. You're going to show us some more. You are going to have to step your game up a little bit, but again, we definitely are looking forward to that. And congratulations on a day well spent, and it does show in the results. So thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you for joining us on Circuit Showdown. We'll see you on the next episode where all 3 contestants will be returning for another chance at Circuit Showdown Champion.
But what they don't know is the next challenge will push them to their limits with a real-life engineering twist that no one saw coming.